Welcome to Right Now Workshop Podcast. I'm your host, Kitty Bucholtz, and this is episode 24, The Waiting Game, an Encouraging Words episode. You know, unfortunately, we all know what it's like to wait. Whether we're in the longest grocery line we could have possibly chosen, or we're stuck in traffic, or we're waiting for a phone call or an email, there are way too many times when we find ourselves waiting, usually, if you're at all like me, impatiently and trying to be patient, or sometimes just impatiently. My husband and I are waiting for some big news right now. I have a friend who's waiting to hear back from an agent. I have another friend who's waiting to find out whether or not they're going to move to the other side of the country because that's going to affect her production schedule. There's always something that we're waiting for. Sometimes we're waiting to see whether or not our ads are going to work. We're waiting to see when are the reviews going to start coming in. Will they be good reviews? And the thing is that attitude tends to be everything while you're waiting. A good attitude is going to give you a much better chance of getting through it without tearing your hair out or becoming a wreck or an impossible person to live with. And sometimes when waiting just seems to go on and on and on, I again try to find something in the Bible to encourage me to just cool down, relax, be patient, and just keep waiting. So one of my favorite verses is from Psalm 27. It's the last two verses. I am still confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. And the thing that I like about it is that, there's a lot of things I like about it, but one of the things is the encouragement just to be strong, take heart, hold on, just hang in there. I believe that God is always going to help me get through whatever situation happens in life. I believe that He created me and He had great and wonderful plans for me and plans for my life to go well and not to go horribly wrong. That doesn't mean that bad things aren't going to happen, but somehow He manages to keep finding ways to encourage me to keep going through bad times as well as enjoy good times. But one of the other interesting things about this verse is that, and a couple of other ones, I wish I knew Greek and Hebrew so that I could read in original languages and understand the exact meaning that the author meant at the time. So that psalm was written by David, probably. There's a few of them that, weren't necessarily written by him, but that one I think was. And sometimes the translation is wait for the Lord, and sometimes it says wait on the Lord, depending on the translation. And I heard somebody talking once about wait on the Lord is more of an active kind of waiting. So for instance, if you go to a restaurant in America, then the people who serve you your food are the wait staff. They're the people who wait on you. And they have a very active role in getting you your food. And so this person, I can't think of who it might have been, maybe a pastor at a church I was at or something, was talking about if you wait on the Lord, what are you doing that serves God while you're waiting? Or what are you doing that has action in it as well as the waiting? And a lot of times that action can be something that's helpful to other people. So maybe your action is that while you're waiting, you're encouraging the people around you who are also waiting, like hang in there, we're going to make it through. We'll get there. We'll hear eventually. Maybe you're the encourager, maybe you're just the quiet strength, but it's quite possible that when you're taking an active role in waiting, you can be a blessing to somebody else. So my encouraging words this week are, if and when you're waiting, if you're waiting now, when you're waiting on something later. I'm waiting, my husband and I are waiting right now with bated breath. We're waiting to hear big news that could change our lives or not, depending on how everything goes. It's really hard not to think about it pretty much 23 hours of every day. But we can encourage each other to be calm, work on what we can do right this minute, try not to think about things that we can't control, we can't make it happen, that we just have to wait for things to happen. Sometimes we can make things happen. But for instance, if you're waiting for somebody to review your book, you can't make them hurry up and do it. If you're waiting for just like the general public who have bought your book to please, I hope you write reviews so that I can get my new book like up in the ranks and stuff. You can't really make any of those people hurry up and do it. You genuinely just have to wait. Just wait and not do anything. So sometimes we're waiting in a passive way and sometimes we're waiting in an active way. If we can find an active way that somehow has some benefit to someone around you, another writer, a family member, depending on what it is, then I think it'll make the waiting seem less horrible. Maybe, hopefully, it'll make the waiting seem less long. Or at least, you'll be not alone in the waiting, or somebody else, you can help them to be not alone in their waiting. So that's my encouraging word for you this week. I hope it's helpful. It's something that, I always find encouragement in all the things that I share with you because I have a tendency to read to you from some of my favorite places. So I know that I feel a little bit better knowing that I can just be strong and take heart and wait, and it's all going to come together at some point. I hope you're having a great day. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you later.